It's another great week. Welcome to the show. This is Coach Jovan. Welcome, Coach Chris. How's your week been, sir?
Man, everything's been well. How about yourself?
It's fan-flipping-tastic. It's Tuesday.
What's up? Yeah.
So we got some cool content today. As you can see, the thumbnail lets us know that we're talking about creating vision, a vision that you can step into, that you can walk into, that you can live into, you can be strong in. That's where we are today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, before we get started, too, we want you to take a quick look at this. And we are not streaming on Facebook this week. So we know some people got to get used to that. but it's going to be okay because we're trying to really build up this YouTube channel, and we want you to join, like, and subscribe, and share with people, make a comment, and the whole 9 yards. So we just want you to be able to enjoy that. And we also have several. We got two websites. One is for our actual business for coaching. You can go in there and get coaching on that website and set up appointments to be coached. And then we also have one, another page is Tube Space, which connects our YouTube channels with that. And you can go on there and you can also link up to get coaching there. That also helps with our YouTube algorithm as well. So we definitely want you on all that. We're going to have blogs on that too as well. So it's powerful. But we want you to watch this um, before we get really into it. All right. And also, forgot to mention to you, we are streaming live on Twitch. We're going to definitely use all these platforms to our advantage. Now, without further ado, here we go.
Jumping straight in. So, I got a question for you, Coach. What is your favorite quote or your favorite thought about vision?
My favorite quote or thought about vision. Um, I don't. I can't say
Are
that.
you a quote person?
I am. I am. But I don't. I don't. I don't feel like I have one for that one. Um,
No?
no, not at this point in my this juncture in my life.
Scripture?
Scripture wise, man, you're catching me off guard now. Um, as it pertains to, no, I don't have one. I'm just gonna can't think of one right off the top of my head. And then after this is over with, I bet you I'll come up with one.
You'll have like four scriptures. You'll be texting at 11:44. So, bang. Yes, you will.
True. That is true.
I think my favorite scripture is the vision. Without a vision, people perish.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's probably the most notable in the Bible regarding vision. I think there's some others, but that's the one I think comes to mind most
Hmm.
when people adventure into the scriptures or that type of study in the Bible.
Hmm.
Um, but even outside of that, I think vision is a very powerful thing. Um, it is something that I believe is a biblical law, meaning that it is something that anyone can practice and it will yield its results, kind of like sowing and reaping.
Hmm.
Uh, if you put an apple seed in the ground, you're going to get an apple tree and then you're going to get some more seed. It's a law. Doesn't matter whether you know God or don't know God, that it just is what it is. I believe vision is the same concept. It allows us to see down the future and see what life should be or what our perspective of life we want to have. And then once you do that, it allows you to build goals, connect, make right decisions to
Hmm.
help support and get to that place. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, vision is very important because it does give you. Um, well, I'll put it like this: vision will absolutely keep you alive and thriving because it's something in the future that you're trying to go after. But then but we got to make sure that when we're doing what we call vision here, that we keep it. It's got to be big. You have to be able to dream big in the whole 9 yards. But then you're going to have to have that vision that keeps you alive and keeps you thriving, to make sure that you're going to be able to obtain what you have in front of you. So vision is very important in that sense. You got to have a vision for your family. You got to have a vision for your business, and it also will give you clarity if you have the proper vision in place.
Right.
Sometimes people's visions are not big enough. Even myself, I'm looking at myself even now, and there are some areas where I know my vision is absolutely not big enough. And being busy doesn't mean that you're in the right place and that you're doing the
Truth.
right things. You're just busy and you're just spinning your wheels and wasting time. So you got to be careful, and we all have to be careful of that because it's just something. I know a lot of people that's super busy. I'm super busy, and the other day I was literally just doing a lot of things, right? Trying to
Hmm.
create some things, and but then I started saying to myself, you're gonna have to, even in your downtime, if you get inspired to do something, even in that time, you have to keep in mind that you're working towards something, and at the same token you have to be careful not to overdo it and overwork and burn yourself out. So I had to step away and say, okay, I've done enough. I can do 20 more different things to help enhance our business, right?
Right.
But but if I work myself in the ground, it's not going to be any good. If I burn myself out of this, it's not going to be any good. So having
That's
proper
right.
vision will have you to pace yourself the proper way, and we can even get biblical with it, right? um, it was um, oh my lord, it was right on the tip of my tongue. I'm having I'm having problems today, so y'all pray for me.
You
Uh,
gotta sing the song, "Baby Come Back."
but 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 it was dealing with when they went in to spy the land. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes.
And and sent
Not
12
Daniel.
spies out. They sent 12 spies out, right? And I'm just gonna paraphrase.
Caleb,
Yep, Caleb and Joshua.
Joshua.
And so they sent the 12 spies out, and they saw something different. They saw the land flowing with milk and honey. They saw everything huge because of why? There was physical giants in the land. Everything had to be huge to fit their life because because they were big people, right? But then they said that they looked like grasshoppers. People think that that just simply means that they were, that didn't have anything to do with the physical. They were literally like grasshoppers in these people's eyesight because they were dealing with actual giants. But one of the most important things and the key things when they got to the point where they came back to 12 spies, you had 10 of them to go the totally opposite route. They was in fear. They said there's no way we can get it. And so for 40 years, God sustained Caleb and Joshua. They were 40 years old, I believe, when they went into when they went there to spy on the land. By the time they turned 80, they still had the strength of 40-year-old men because the vision kept them fresh and kept them alive. And that's the way we need to see things. Your vision will keep you fresh, keep you alive, and keep you on point. So that's enough rambling for me, sir.
Oh, listen. I think it's interesting because when we talk about vision and then you see things start to open up, um, really that's kind of how a vision session should be.
Mm-hmm.
When you have one for yourself or with your business or with
Mm-hmm.
your spouse for your marriage, like it should be an opportunity that you open up um, and allow everything to come out because what you don't want to do is withhold this or withhold that, um, and then not move the chess pieces in their proper place.
Exactly.
It's almost like when you meet your partner and you're gonna go play chess and you box the board and all the pieces. You want to make sure that all the pieces are there on the table, and then you begin to position them. But first, making sure all those pieces are on the table is the essential part. So I found a quote that was really interesting to me, by Winston Churchill, and it says the empires of the future are empires of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about him because he was very methodical in his thoughts.
Yeah.
And if you read any of his material, or even just reading through quotes from Winston Churchill, he was just a very methodical thinker, and then also not just a thinker, but a processor.
Mm-hmm.
And he put things in perspective, and he was really good at creating vision, to be able to lead people, to be able to get people to buy into his system, whether it be his system of thought or whether it be the system of communication that he had. And I always think that that's super powerful,
Yeah.
in the concepts of communicating vision, because it's one thing to have a vision, it's a completely different thing to be able to communicate that and get people to get on board and participate in what you're communicating and buy into the system and run with it.
Exactly.
It's a completely different concept of just saying, hey, kind of like I guess a good example in real life would be my man from Apple, who passed away.
Yeah.
What is his name? I'm having mind blanks too.
Steve Jobs.
Jobs. For him to create Apple and the idea of what he had, from the first computer and
Yeah.
moving forward in the grasp of technology, the idea of um, being able to see the iPhone and its presentation the first time. I remember seeing that. And it was really fascinating to hear him completely talk about how all of these different devices that we use in multiple different ways, he wanted to combine them in one and have it fit in your pocket. That was the vision.
Yep.
Simple, but once he was able to communicate that,
Mm-hmm.
other people were able to grab onto it. He was able to have divine connections, and divine meetings with people that he brought great minds in, and maybe there are some people who were on the other side with the computers that had to be excluded because their thoughts weren't lining up.
Yeah.
But that's all part of that process of having a vision, is you kind of get to see what goes in and what comes out and what's good, what's unnecessary. So it's always good stuff.
Exactly. Man, I tell you, that's powerful because when you look at all the technology here today, a lot of that stuff was born out of people getting together. And a couple of sessions ago, we were talking, and a little bit was mentioned about how you and I get together, then we'll create this third process or thinking or brain, so to speak, right? And that's what happened to a lot of those guys that came up with that technology. They would sit around and talk and brainstorm, and those things will come out of that
Yeah.
stuff, and they will create all these deals. And so, sitting down with people, um, constantly having conversations, stuff will be birthed out of that vision. I mean, pliable things that you can kind of start putting together for the future can start coming out of those conversations, as long as they are on the same plane of thinking. If they're on the same plane of thinking, we teach people to never share your vision. On the biblical side, we teach people not to share it because we always look at it how when Joseph shared what he shared and what happened to them. But I think we take that the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think
Absolutely.
I know we take it the wrong way, because that's not what that story is all about. It doesn't say don't share anything, because we put too much emphasis on being afraid of what the devil can do, right? In that sense. and how haters, and this is something I wish that would just die in the church. Preaching and teaching about
Hater talk.
that stuff is so garbage, and it causes people to be literal. And it is garbage. I don't care who don't like me using the word garbage. It is total garbage because it's always keeping you looking over your shoulder versus staying focused on where you're trying to go. And the thing is, whether you tell people or not, you what they're trying to get you to do is not face controversies or troubles or trials. As long as you're breathing, you're going to run into people that's going to cause you problems because they're going to start getting a hint of that you're trying to go somewhere, do something. So you're not going to stop it. So I always tell
That's right.
people, embrace that stuff. Why? You embrace it because it is empowering. I don't let people throw me off. Now, do I get frustrated? Absolutely. But do I get angry like I used to when I felt somebody was in my way? Absolutely not. I don't get angry, but I use speech. I tend to turn stuff and make stuff into funny manners. When I talk to you, Javon, and other people, I turn the stuff into a joke so I can lessen its impact. And I can lessen how I feel about what I'm facing. Because my vision and my dream and my passion is not to be bothered by people who are not supposed to be in my world, or even if they are supposed to be in my world for a season, the trouble that they bring, I'm still going to grow. And all that stuff is a part of the whole process. You can't get away from that. You cannot build business. You cannot have a successful family if people are not talking about you and trying to destroy it. Right? Because people will test everything in you. And you think by not sharing what you want is going to cause people to stay off of you. Listen, people are watching.
And waiting.
And anytime they start seeing you making any trajectory, making any kind of move upwards, they start upwards mobility. People immediately get the crab mentality. They get this whole deal where they want to come up with their quote unquote their fictional bazooka, and they want to shoot you down because they have problems. Because if they were focused on their vision, if they're focused on their life, guess what? They'll be walking that stuff out immediately, and there won't be any problems. And so that's where we have to understand that where God would have us to be, and just in life in general, there are things that we can do to ensure our growth and to ensure that we're going to walk to our vision. But it's not going to be without controversy. Embrace the controversy. It's coming. People will try to stop you, hinder you, and you can't make that an excuse. People coming in your way, family members talking about you, people robbing you, stealing from you, stabbing you in your back, that is not an excuse. None of it. Because when you got vision, Joseph proved that. Men in this hour has proved that it doesn't matter how many people try to stand in your way. It don't matter.
That's right. It don't. You got to endure.
Yeah.
Just
No.
and I love it now because it we've called them haters for forever now. It's just it is what everybody communicates as. I want to evolve and just go ahead and take it to the next level where we are in communication now. It's called the comment section. If we go across social media, it's called the comment section. You need to be ready for the comment section of your life. You need to be prepared and realize that it is coming, it is there, and it is not omittable. You will have the comment section of your life.
That's right. And that's where they belong. They belong in the comment section. And people are afraid. I know the more we get into the whole YouTube thing, we're going to have some people that are going to say stuff about what they don't like. They're going to point out stuff that they don't like. But that's all a part of it. But every comment that they don't understand on YouTube and these social media platforms, all it does is put you in the algorithm and make more people see you.
1 Thessalonians chapter 3. Drink your water and mind your business.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible.
Oh.
Mind your business.
Yes, sir. And so what are some steps we have?
I think there's many steps, but we have 4 that are written down that we want to share with you. one thing is remember the 4 P's of effective vision. Um, the first one is when you're writing a vision, speak in present tense. When you sit down, anytime, I know vision boards are a really popular thing right now, and have been for a couple years. But anytime you sit down and you start to look at a vision, remember this first: vision is not a goal.
Mm-hmm.
A vision is not a goal. A vision is looking down the road of life. What do you want life to look like? What should this plan or place of your life look like? And when you start to look at that, you
Mm-hmm.
need to look at it in its present tense, as
Exactly.
if it is happening now. It's not the past. And when you write in present tense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start writing, it's almost like writing a movie.
Yeah.
You write the script as if you were in the script. You don't write the script as a third person looking at the script. So when you're writing the script of your vision, it is present tense. It's not a I will. Don't use the I wills or I did, because that brings you out of that place. You need to find where that place is, kind of anchor in, and write in communication that directly perceives as if you are there. The second thing is personal perspective. Make sure that you're writing from your own perspective, not from what someone else is. Don't bring other people's ideas to your vision, because that is not your vision. It's just that simple. It's not your vision. Your vision has to be you in the place and the idea of what it is that you are creating. So personal perspective. Use I statements. Use me, um, and make sure that that's how you're communicating when you're writing your vision. Um, the next one. Use positive language. Avoid words like not or don't. What you want to do is communicate what is happening, what will happen, what that vision looks like in a groove. You know, I love the Bible because there is 4 books in the Bible that give this kind of content. One of the books that gives the most detailed content, well, not the most detailed content, but the most focused content that almost looks like a movie, is the book of Mark. I'm actually studying that book right now. Um, and it is the book about Jesus and him being a servant. But when you read it, it gives you a play by play look at the content that is there. And it is just like you being there. If you read it and you remove all the rest of the books of the Bible and just read that one book, or if you just started there and you've never read the Bible before and you read that one book, you would get to see a almost an autobiographical content of Jesus. It gives where he is, what he's doing, where he's going, who's with him. It's just like a movie. So you have to write in the consistent positive content, and as if you are there. Then the last one I think is really really important. Be passionate. Put your passion in your vision, whatever that is. And I'm not talking about how you feel about something, but put the positive and the negative parts of your passion. If there are some things that um, are really positive and really high, some good experiences you want to experience, like maybe down the road getting married and having children, you should write out what your life looks like with your children. In my coaching sessions that I do with single guys who are not married and on the way towards marriage or looking for a significant other to take on um, as a wife, I always tell them you should look at your first 5 years of childbearing, because what happens is you get a wife, or you start dating someone. You're like, okay, I can see myself with them. I love how they carry themselves. I love how they look. I love how they communicate. I love how they are around others and friends. I love how I feel when I'm with them. All those things are important. They're not insignificant. They are important, but they are important for getting started. The part of the process that we want is the envisioning of where the roots of life look like in marriage. And I always tell men, let's look at your first 5 years of parenting. What does that look like for you? What is the intent that you have in your heart for your marriage? Because that's the heart of marriage, because God created the family. He created husband and wife. Therefore, the husband should leave his mother and father, cling to his wife, and then they are to procreate, have family, and develop um, the institution of marriage, and children are to be brought up in the institution of marriage with a husband and a wife. So the nice thing about that is, if you start thinking about what the first 5 years of your of childbearing looks like, it forces you to get past the honeymoon phase. It forces you to get past the thoughts of just you and your wife, and allows you to focus on the deep rooted part of how am I going to bridge out of just me and her? Because the idea is to have all of it. So that's where the roots really start. And it's also where there's a lot of questions that can be answered. Those are a lot of questions that I would suggest that that person have communication with the person that they're interested in possibly getting engaged with. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you want to work? What is and I want guys to focus on this beforehand, so they can start to think about what kind of plan of life do they want, and have a vision for that, so that way they know what they want when they're looking. So they're not just receiving information from somebody and saying, oh, yeah, well, I think everything would be great if we have like 2 kids. And then that's the extent of the conversation. Well, what does life look like with the 2 kids? Is someone going to stay at home? Are we going to do daycare? Are we going to have one car? Are we going to financially float everything off of one income or 2 incomes? Are you going to be a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom? My wife works from home. That's a very popular thing right now. So there's different options, but that's one way to really start to look at the vision and start to write out what you see. And once you start to do that, you'll think of more details that come up in that vision. And that's how that passion really gets stirred up, is when you drop that in there and you say, okay, where's the roots that can be pushed down into the ground? And then I can see more of where we are.
Can you hear me?
I can
I
hear
can hear.
you.
Oh, okay.
You went blank just for a half a second there,
Okay.
sir.
Well, listen, that might be this internet here. It's been acting wonky all day. And you know how we're caught in a trap with the internet provider that we have here.
Oh yes, yes.
We got the whole
A,
area.
mon- a monopolized trap.
Oh yeah. And so the realities are is that we got to come up with the worst case scenario situation, and that's a part of vision. What
Yeah,
if the whole economy crashes and everything falls apart? What will we do? And how will we survive? What do we got in place overall? Because again, if we take it the biblical way with Joseph, he saw 7 years of plenty and 7 years of lack, and then he in turn came together with a plan to make sure that stuff was in place that they would prosper, and so
that's
that's
right.
key to everything. And
He
so
had
we
the
have to
wisdom
do
of
that.
God.
Yeah, we have to do that. But how does that wisdom look? Because that was a supernatural thing that happened. So how do we take it from that level of the supernatural and bring it down to practicality? Because everybody can't hear, and everybody's not going to hear. That was
Hmm.
something for a nation of people. And oftentimes we look at that and we feel like we have to be walking in that level, and that's not true. You have to walk. You have to have wisdom, and you have to put yourself in arenas and circles to where you can be the most. You can have put yourself around good quality counselors. You know, because
Hmm.
if you got a good source of good counselors in your world, what'll wind up happening is that you'll see yourself flowing into things that you never flown into before because you got no wisdom from multiple people that'll help you grow and help keep your life on track. And so there's safety in the multitude of counselors, and that's where we have to maintain our lifestyles in those spaces. So that's very important. So vision will keep you on track. Doesn't matter if the whole world is burning. Vision will keep you on track and make sure that you stay within alignment. What else you got there for us, Coach?
You know, if I feel like if you follow in on those four steps, um, it puts you in a position where you can write vision, focus in,
Mhm.
um, get rid of the distractions. It will create passion. As you can see, I was just like the I'm passionate about fatherhood.
Mhm.
But when I started looking at what was important to fathers and
Mhm.
what are some questions or what are some conversations that I've never had or I've never heard other men talk about
Yeah.
that are essential or quintessential to getting us out of the divorce onslaught that we are seeing in our nation and
Mhm.
across the world. How can men be better? And what are some conversations we can dive into to help bring some awareness and understanding?
Mhm.
So one of the questions I started to look at, I was like, we got to start talking about this. The
Yeah.
first 5 years of childbearing. Because what happens is men are taught, as we um, grow up, we're taught to really kind of look at life from a provider perspective, from a career perspective, from a husband perspective. But we're not really taught to look at life as a family. We're taught to value family, but
Mhm.
not to look at it and how it functions and how you as a leader have to have a vision.
Exactly.
Um, and for that to happen, that's where your genuine passion will come about.
Exactly.
I'm I'm so passionate about being a father, it's crazy. But I love it. And but until I started asking that question and looking at that, when I asked some of the guys that I've coached about that, it was absolute what I expected. I had never even thought about that. It's the first thing they say. I never even thought about it. Because no one asks a guy, well, what do you want to do with childbearing? No one asks a guy that. It's always the girls who talk about it. However, I think the fascinating thing is that the conversation never happens between the guy and the girl. And because of it, therefore, there's no intertwining of the vision. She's not brought into the communication of what he idealistically sees or wants and has the idea of, because he's not communicating about it. And she just assumes that that's what she's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But truth being told, if he's going to be the leader, then he needs to say, hey, this is what I would like my house to look like. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would like my home life and my children to be raised like. If you're looking for a spouse and they emulate the characteristics in which you want your children to grow up as, that's great. But if that person's not going to be there a whole time because they have their own career, then that's a whole different kind of conversation. And that's whole different, it's just two different ideas that are going to mesh later and create problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the gist of everything, when we're dealing with talking about vision, um, we laid out 4 steps to that, and how to get there and how to create that powerful vision. So now the ball is in your court, and it is time for you to take action on those areas of vision, and so that you can kind of move forward. Now we do have information for the plan, and we know we're still building our audience right now, and some people, will get there eventually. Things will come to play, and people will be able to start seeing this stuff start working for them, because we're gonna. There's a lot of other things that we're getting ready to lay on the table now, but we're just building our foundation right now. So we're in that whole foundational building stage now. So we're excited, first of all, for you guys joining us today. And here's something powerful that I want you to do. That website that's strolling there, we placed it and I pinned it on YouTube, and you can go there. We also have merch and merchandise, some T-shirts and some stuff to kind of get you, so you can start walking around with some of our stuff on. So we have that in place. So go and patronize that, and involve yourself in those type of things. And then if you check our website out, you can sign up for our newsletter that'll be coming out shortly, so you can stay in the know and also get some knowledge on different things that we dropping dropping at different periods from our blog and all that type of stuff. So go to that website, and you'll see the store there. You'll see the YouTube videos there. You always see the feature videos, the up and coming videos, or the latest videos that's there at that website. Very powerful. And then anything else on there. So you can patronize that whole page from top to bottom. And all those proceeds, everything that's on there, go towards what we're building and what we're doing. So it is important. Oh, and I want to let y'all know too. Did y'all know we are on Twitch? I know. Twitch is one of those things where they get on there and the kids are real rude and nasty and stuff like that. I like all that. I love it all.
Oh, yes.
Because
Chris in the Call of Duty room.
listen, I'm going to tell you something. I will give people the business. And I'm just telling you. Listen, I'm not afraid to say what I need. Listen, I'll make people mad. So I'll get on that. I will make everybody mad. And then the last card they're going to be able to pull is he saved? No. I'm saying I'm not cussing you out, but I am wearing you out verbally.
You died.
Yeah, you just did. I mean, let's go. And so, but we're going to use this as a tool to get on there and break up some of the monopoly. There's all type of stuff that go on there, just like with YouTube, and we do not care. We want our piece of the pie. And then our next move is going to be It's going to be, what's the name of the page? We're going to be on Amazon Fire Stick in about a month from now. We're going to also be on working out some things with Roku. We're going to be on Roku. We're going to have our show on Roku. So listen, while y'all sitting up here not coming to join us, don't try to come and say, I know them after we reach our level of success. Don't come and say that, because we're going to act like we don't know you. There's a song by PJ Martin.
Just hit up the comment section.
Yeah, there was a guy named PJ Martin from New Orleans, and he wrote a song. He said, "Where were you when I was shooting the ball in the gym?" So in other words, now you want to come.
That's right. That's right.
But we get on here, we just having candid conversation. But then we have these steps that we put into place. We talk about our biblical side, of course. And for those, we know everybody's not going to be saved at this moment, but you hang around with us long enough, we're going to rub off on you somehow, some way, and we'll be able to make some impact in your life. And so vision is very important. You can find a preacher in the church around every corner, just about in America, right? So we want to give you practical steps. We want to give you powerful, impactful things and tools you can put into practice that you can get them moving immediately and start making some pathways. But this is the only way it's going to work. Here's the only way that this stuff is going to work. You have to pick it up, or you have to be bold enough to ask us for the sheets and say, hey, what about that vision stuff? Teach me something. Show me some stuff. Because we also deal with cognitive behavioral therapy. There's a lot of people that need therapy. We deal with EQ, which is emotional therapy. I see a lot of sisters online throwing that stuff around, saying that men don't have emotional intelligence and so on and so forth. I see them throwing it around because they've learned something, they read about EQ, but they're yelling and screaming and out of control, just like the people that they say they don't have it. If you really have EQ, it causes you to handle yourself in those situations, and it causes you to be a rational thinking person, and it causes you to make decisions and to control that anger and control all that quote unquote passion, and to get you to the main thing that you need to get to. What? To succeed in the area that you're trying to succeed. So you won't be on your job. There's some people, but I see on these videos showing out, and I'm like, they lack real EQ, and they just totally lose it online. And this stuff is forever on social media. You take it down, 5,000, 6,000 other people have shared it, and it's a part of somebody's life. So that stuff is important, that you learn EQ. EQ and not IQ. They thought IQ was what caused people to be successful. EQ can be taught to anybody, and they've shown in the studies that as a person with high levels of EQ, you can outperform anybody with IQ, and you'll also surpass them in wealth as well, because you have EQ and not IQ. IQ is important. The people that have high levels of EQ, oftentimes, 99.9% of the time, hire those to work for them in their business.
Truth.
So
put those stats out there, sir. Let them know the truth. The truth will set you free.
Absolutely. So that stuff is powerful. And those are things that we have to understand. So this is the stage that we're on. And we want you to like, subscribe, and share this information with anybody that you believe that can that need to hear this stuff that we talked about tonight and other stuff that we talked about in the past. Check out all of our videos. We're going to create a playlist, so you can go on that playlist and hang out with us. And Coach, you have anything else to say before we get out of here?
I just want to let everybody know that we love you guys. We appreciate you guys taking the time to come and watch, listen. Just take the time this week. Sit, consider creating a vision board. Use some images, grab some magazines or print stuff. Make some clip art. Put some words or phrases that capture what you want to see yourself, and just take a look at it for a year from now. That's a great way to get started. I have a process that I kind of take people through when I do the vision coaching session with someone. It's a little similar but different. But yeah, that's a great way to get started. And if you need a little help, just hit us up on the website, and then we can go from there.
And
We
so,
appreciate you guys.
yeah, I appreciate that, Coach. Now, one other area I want you to check out, because this the video, the website that's on the bottom that's scrolling, that will keep you in contact with our YouTube channel. And when you get to our YouTube, it takes you directly to our YouTube, and you get on there, like and subscribe, and press the bell. We're telling you that because that's going to help us in our algorithm to help us grow our channel. And we're literally in 6 months to a year, we want to have over 1,000 people on our YouTube channel. We will have 1,000 people on our YouTube channel, hands down. All right. So you want to join that tribe, join it with us, and also join us on all the other social media platforms that we're going to be on that we present to you. But one of the major things, go to our website, and that one at the bottom is our two-space website, powerful website to help you keep you in contact. But then the other portion is we have the nouveau-systems.com. You go there. We have blogs. I've been writing blogs about affiliate marketing, and those blogs have been blowing up amongst affiliate marketers because of the time I've been spending writing those blogs and getting those blogs together. And because I'm a business coach as well, and I'm building up my whole thing, and I'm making money off affiliate marketing stuff too as well at this current time. And so the thing is that affiliate marketing is powerful. Like on our website, and we have to be transparent. The stuff that we do, it's affiliate marketing stuff that we have on here as well on that website. So go and patronize that. That'll help us out to help us get to the next level, so we can get more, advance the whole studios even better, advance our whole platform even better, so we can reach more people with what we're doing. And we don't see too many black coaches out there. And I hate to pull the color thing, but I'm pulling it today, God dog it. You don't see too many black coaches out there.
I'm brown, sir.
Okay, you're right. Listen, I just corrected somebody not too long ago and told them I'm brown, and so now they call me. There's some people in the Philippines. They call me Kuya Brown. First they called me black. I said I'm not black. I said black is confused, and they said okay, well Kuya Brown. I said okay, that's me.
Did I ever tell you that one time that Jack called me Chocolate Thunder? Yes, he did.
Oh
my youngest son that my wife had, he it was like a year and a half ago, and he just out of nowhere, he's like, I think Papa J is like Chocolate Thunder, and he has no idea who Daryl Dawkins is. But I was like, oh yeah, Chocolate Thunder, let's go.
That's right. But look, before we get out of here, first of all, I want to thank my sister. She's awesome. She's always showing up for us and helping us with the algorithm and stuff. She do it because she loves us. She want to see us succeed. And so we appreciate you, sissy.
Shout out Sandy.
Yes, indeed. And so we definitely appreciate her. And she's an honorary coach. She's supposed to be getting her coaching license. She's still working on that. And she's going to be helping out you sisters. Oh my God. She's going to help you sisters out. And you guys are going to love it. She's a very articulate person, so she's getting it all together as time comes. So here's where we are. Watch this before you leave. This is our routine, all right? And y'all watch this, and then we out of here. Deuces.
65 days till football.
Oh yeah. Oh, that didn't look good. I had my finger up and they're like, don't y'all start with me. Don't start with me.